Welcome to episode 564, Jayshree Ulall, 10 Lessons. This is an outline of episode 564, lesson 1 to lesson 5. This is an outline of episode 564, lesson 6 to lesson 10. Lesson number 1, best of breed if you want to start a business.
Of what Arista was looking to do. The other thing to look at when you build a company, and there's no greater example than Reliance, is you have to have some main characteristics. You have to build a disruptive technology. Nobody is going to come to you for anything but best of breed. You can't start a company with worst of breed, that's for sure, right? You have to be better and significantly better than what exists.
Lesson number 2, she is a cloud billionaire. Arista was built from the ground up based on cloud architecture. Apparently, there are about 20 to 30 cloud billionaires. She's in big company. Here's a brief introduction to cloud computing. It was started about 14 years ago by Mr. Egghead, Marc Andressen. Marc Andressen is only 47 years old in 2019, more than a decade younger than Jayshree Ulall. Lesson number 3, she is the $10 billion woman. Then she spent more than 15 years working at Cisco. She was the billion-dollar woman, responsible for 1/3 of Cisco's sales.
So you're at Cisco, you built this $10 billion business unit. A $10 billion business line is a lot. There aren't that many companies doing $10 billion in revenue. What was it like? What was the first $5 billion and then the last $5 billion like?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. The first $5 billion, I felt I was running the business. The second $5 billion, I felt it was running me.
Lesson number 4, speed. It took her only 2 years to lead Aritsta to reach sales of $1 billion.
And we often success is measured by the inflection point. Inflection point is usually around IPO or when you make your first billion. It took dry as ice cream, I like ice cream, so I put that up there, 12 years to get that inflection point to $1 billion. It took Microsoft and Starbucks 6 years. It took Google, Cisco, eBay, Broadcom 4 years. And I think Arista and maybe Facebook are the only two that did it in 2 years. So it's pretty amazing. Thank you.
Lesson number 5, she built a firm for engineers.
We also set a culture. We're really a company built by engineers for engineers. So you won't see airport billboard ads, which is probably why many of you haven't heard of Arista.
Lesson number 6, Ehternet Supremacy.
I know and live and breathe a lot of here.
Please do.
And the first one is Ethernet everywhere. I don't know how many of you have witnessed, SAN technologies with fiber channel or InfiniBand with high performance compute or token ring to go back a few years or FDDI. But every Ethernet technology I've ever gone through finally meets its end because Ethernet's just capable of scaling, addressing the volume, addressing the automation and operation of networks so well that the more you can use of it, the better scale and also advantage of price you get. So we're
Lesson number 7, little advertisement. It is very interesting to see how she grew Arista on very different priority.
So you won't see airport billboard ads, which is probably why many of you haven't heard of Arista. We don't spend on branding and marketing.
Lesson number 8, heavy R&D. She spends 3 times more money on research and development than on advertisement.
We don't spend on branding and marketing. We spend on R&D. We spend 3 times as much as a percentage of revenue on R&D.
Lesson number 9, 3 co-founders. Jayshree Ulall did not found Arista. Arista has 3 co-founders, 2 of them multi-billionaires and professors at Stanford University. The most famous is Andreas von Bechtolsheim, and he is a German immigrant. Next co-founder is David Cheriton, and he is from Canada. The third co-founder is Ken Duda. He's a graduate of MIT and also earned his PhD from Stanford University. Von Bechtolsheim is the white-haired man on the left, and Ken Duda is the man on the right. Lesson number 10. There are 3 kinds of disruptions.
About disruption and how you made Arista the force you did?
Absolutely. I think disruption is a widely used word. I don't think anybody likes to say they just build products for status quo, right? But when you think about disruption, I think it comes in a variety of categories. There's technology disruption. There's helping your customers with their disruption. But I think there's also changing your habits. There's a fundamental disruption of, how does the world look and how do you change to adapt to that world, whether it's your people, your leaders, your technology, and your habits. So I think you have to look at all vectors, and that was the beauty of Arista. Arista, by the way, for some of you who have been around a while may think it's Arista Records, but we're focused on cloud networking. And in Greek, it means to be the best. And I think disruption is defining what that best is.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your questions and comments below. Wishing everyone peace and prosperity.